I think the question you're asking, and it's a really important one, is while we're asking Americans to reconsider what they're eating, are we actually asking Americans, especially those who are living on the margins, are we asking them to spend more on their diet? And the answer to that is no. We've run over 1,000 simulations. It can cost around $3 a meal for a piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli, corn tortilla, and one other thing. And so there is a way to do this that actually will save the average American consumer money.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So that was Secretary of Agriculture Rollins, and she just gave a gift to the Democratic Party. The 2026 midterms, this is going to be played over and over and over again. So we're going to break this down. I'm going to talk a little bit about this because what she just said was out of touch. I mean, the American people know better than this. And a lot of people looking at this are saying, are you kidding me? Are you serious? $3 meal? I mean, it's already going around. You're already seeing people post these different things about this. Let me show you some of the posts. And so you have people just posting plates. And I just screen captured the plates just to show you. So you have a tortilla, some chicken, a piece of broccoli, and one other thing. She said one other thing. What is that one other thing? We have no idea. And so people are just posting this just to show you how crazy this is for her to even say something like that. It's just, look at this, and then an M&M. So you have a piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli, a tortilla, and then one M&M. So this is, I mean, they have this here, mystery. So you get a mystery item here is what they're showing. And so obviously this is not a laughing matter, but she's trying to say, look, there's still meals that are affordable. You can get a $3 meal. You know, we've done 1,000 simulations and they've told us that you can get a $3 meal by eating these items. But what's the reality? What do we normally do when we go to the grocery store? So what I'm going to show you, I'm going to go in NPR actually they just put out an article talking about the cost of items, food items. Now, some items have gone down and some items have gone up. Okay. And so we're going to take a look at the most popular 20 items that people purchase when they go to the grocery store. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, share the video, and consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so I'm going to show you those 20 items, and let me finish this video because she did have a few more things to say. So let's go ahead and play it. Here we go.
Also on that, because that's one of the criticisms I heard from some, nutrition folks who said, like with the event you mentioned, all the protein, saying, all right, well, steak, obviously, it's expensive. So are you asking people to spend more money with these new dietary guidelines than in the past? Do you say no?
That's right. And the answer to that is absolutely no. Now, there are, as most things are coming down, there are a few outliers. Beef has been one of them, but ground beef is coming down. But here's the real.
And so at the end, you heard her talking about there are a few outliers. Actually, there are a few outliers that are showing prices going down on food items. There are more prices going up on food items than going down. Okay, and we'll show you. I'm going to break this all down. So let's go ahead. First thing I want to take a look at is I want to look at the 20 items. Okay, so and I asked AI, what are the most popular items that people buy in grocery stores? Okay. And here are the top 20 items. And so usually when we go to the grocery store, we're buying staples. Okay, so milk, eggs, cheese, yogurt, butter, milk substitutes now, right? Almond milk, all that stuff, breads, rice, pasta, cereals, then proteins, beef, pork, chicken, bacon. And then we have fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. When it comes to frozen foods, pizza, I like eating frozen pizza, frozen vegetables, frozen desserts, ice cream, of course, who doesn't like ice cream? And then pantry items and beverages, peanut butter, and fruit juice beverages. And so those are the top 20 items that most people will buy at the grocery store. And I know looking at this list, I buy all of those items except for cereal. I haven't been eating cereal. I don't eat cereal anymore, too much sugar in that. So I will actually make breakfast. Now I have the ability to make breakfast, so I will go ahead and make breakfast. And another thing that I didn't see on that list, coffee wasn't on that list. But the reality is I think most people when you buy coffee, you're buying a big bag and it lasts you for several months. So it might not be, every time you go to the grocery store, you're probably not buying coffee just because it has a long shelf life. So that's probably why it wasn't on there. So now I want to take a look at food items. So we said top 20 here. We're looking at food items that the percentage increase or decrease. Okay. So, and as we stated, coffee right here, and most people drink coffee. So even if you're not buying, you don't buy a big bag and you drink it at home, you're drinking it on the go. And so if the price of coffee goes up, that is impacting a lot of people. Just think, the vast majority of the American people, I would say, probably drink coffee at least once a day. So if it goes up by 45%, that's impacting a lot of people. Okay, beef. Beef is up 30%. Okay, and this is year to date. That's what we're talking about. So they're looking at December of 2024 versus December of 2025. Now remember, we don't have numbers for January. We have to wait until February. We'll get numbers for January. When it comes to shrimp, now I don't eat shrimp all the time, but there are occasions where I go out and buy shrimp. Shrimp right now, 31.5%. Chocolate, a lot of people eat chocolate every day maybe. 26.9%. Okay, now let's look at the biggest drops, because we have seen some food items go down in price. So we're looking at eggs. Eggs are at 29.7% lower than what they were in December of 2024. So that's good. But when we're talking about eggs, we know egg prices go up and down all the time because of bird flu and a variety of different reasons. And so it's really volatile when it comes to egg prices. So right now we're at a good point where they're down. And when we're looking at cereals 19.1% less than it was in December of 2024. Looking at butter, 15.6% less than what it was in December of 2024. And then bacon, 18.2% less than it was in December of 2024. Okay, so let's go to the bottom here. Looking at, we do have some items that have pretty much stayed flat. Okay, they're pretty much at like 0%. They might have increased a little bit or decreased a little bit, but they're pretty much staying steady. So when it comes to bread, when it comes to rice, when it comes to pasta, when it comes to chicken, these items really haven't increased that much or decreased that much. And so they're just pretty much saying it's a flat line. Okay, overall grocery prices. So overall grocery prices, 2.7%. Now this is on the items that we chose, those 20 items, okay? And I realize some of these items aren't on that list, but I just wanted to show you some of the highest increases when it comes to food items, and then the highest decreases when it comes to food items. But overall, when we're looking at the 20 items that we went over, 2.7% on average, up 2.7%. Now, when we look at the numbers when it comes to CPI, the information that we just received just a few days ago, we're looking at CPI is at 2.7%. That's year to date. And then the increase month over month is 0.3%. Now we look at food overall. We're looking at 3.1% increase. We're looking at month to month, it's 0.7% increase. Food at home. Now food at home, this is where you go to the grocery store, you buy food. Overall, it's 2.4%. So it's less than the 20 items that we looked at. But when we're looking at month over month, so from December to November, we saw an increase of 0.7%. Food away from home, right now, 4.1% increase. And then we're looking at month over month, it's 0.7% increase. Okay, so what we really should be focused on is this right here. Food at home, 2.4%. That's an increase. And so what that's telling us is food prices are more expensive now than they were a year ago, 2.4% more expensive. If we look at specifically those 20 items, it's 2.7% more expensive now than it was a year ago. So when you hear politicians out there saying that food prices have gone down, they might be looking at certain items and saying food prices are going down, just like the Secretary of Agriculture is saying, look, prices have come down. You can buy tortillas. You can buy a piece of chicken. And when it comes to a piece of chicken, we saw that it's pretty steady. It's not increasing or decreasing too much. So you can buy a piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli, and, one other thing, and it's $3, right? That's what she's saying. But who wants to eat that? And the bad part about what she's saying is you see people putting these little, posts up, and it doesn't even look appetizing. Like, at least if she wanted to come up with the meal, she should have come up with the meal that, okay, yeah, this is realistic. This is something that I could see myself eating. But when you look at that, one piece of broccoli, one piece of chicken, and a tortilla, who eats that? No one just eats that. Most people are going to need more than that. I mean, I was looking at that. Some people were going over trying to, look at the macros, look at the calories on that plate. And they were like, it's like 250 calories or something, maybe 300 calories. That's not enough food for you to eat. I mean, you're going to need to eat more. So you'll be eating that every 2 hours in order to get to your 1,500 to 2,000 calories that you need every day. Now I have a clip to show you. Now we're probably going to see a side by side of what she's saying in this Mar-a-Lago in the future. We'll probably see some politician's going to come up with a commercial where they're going to, a campaign commercial where they're going to be showing this. And so this is really damaging. Now I can't play the audio because they're playing music in the background. I don't want to have any copyright issues, but I will play the video. And I don't even know what I think it's caviar. I don't even know. I've never even seen caviar before, but let me just show you this clip. Here we go. So you have these people. I don't even know what we're looking at. So yeah. So is that caviar? I guess that's caviar. And they're putting it on something. And so this is the problem. You see a video clip like this, and then you listen to her and she's talking about, look, if you really want to save money, you can eat on $3 a meal. And people are thinking, this is crazy. What you need to do is bring down prices. That was the promise. President Trump was out there saying, look, I'm going to bring down prices. Inflation is crazy. We're going to handle this. But it hasn't happened. And so now you have his cabinet scrambling, trying to figure out, okay, what is our message? How are we going to convince the American people that everything is okay? And you hear the Secretary of Agriculture talking about that. I mean, it's just crazy to me. And so I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you think this is the right message? Do you think this is what the current administration should be putting out there? Look, everything is okay. All you need to do is buy these items, this other item. We don't know what the other item is. I'll be interested to hear if someone asks her that question in the future. I'm sure they're going to ask her that question. What was that other item? Because that other item needs to be, needs to have a lot of calories in order to meet the calorie intake that you need for the day. And so are you buying this option? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.